Hi everyone, welcome to today's show. I'm Lee Muyang. Recently, the government put out what looks like a nice, kind policy, but for many people, it actually feels cold and scary. Shanghai's Civil Affairs Bureau worked with 28 other departments to release a plan that pushes older people to retire but not stop working. They call it encouraging silver-haired folks to stay active. In the same week, another big news hit from a different direction. Bloomberg published a major report. China's finance industry is going through a huge pay cut wave. It's not just small changes here and there. It's a big structural shrink, not a gentle drop. It's almost like falling off a cliff. Finance workers who used to earn big salaries, like millions a year, are seeing their pay disappear fast. The shiny image of the industry is fading, and people's sense of security is gone. So here's a picture that feels tense and even a bit sarcastic. On the surface, these two news stories have nothing to do with each other. But when you put them side by side and zoom out, you see they both point to the same big hole that's collapsing. China's last big social safety net, the pension system, is being quietly sucked dry by unemployment waves and super fast aging. Today, let's put all these scattered pieces together, using the newest numbers, what Bloomberg revealed about the finance world, and the real job picture that's often hidden or made to look better than it is. We'll peel back the cover layer by layer. Let's zoom in first on Shanghai's new big plan that's still fresh. Shanghai's Civil Affairs Bureau teamed up with 28 departments to make the Shanghai Plan for building a support system for older people's social participation and achieving old but useful. This is just the local version of what the National Civil Affairs Ministry and 19 departments said last May about helping older people find jobs. The official words sound really nice. Let older people retire but not stop working and join in society. It makes their later years richer, and it helps fill gaps in the workforce because there aren't enough young workers. They call it using the power of silver hair. They want to build a full support system. There's already a website called China Senior Talent Network that started in August 2022. It builds a database of older workers, offers info services, and helps connect them to jobs. They especially point out that more and more people over 55 are looking for work, like saying, "Hey, you older folks, come on, the market needs you." Shanghai's official newspaper, Liberation Daily, interviewed a civil affairs official on March 19th. The official said older people staying active after retirement is good for their own lives and also a key way to fix the shortage of workers. They even said ahead of time, "Don't worry, older people working won't take jobs from young people." They compared it to Japan's law on stable employment for older people, saying aging isn't a burden. It's a bonus from people living longer and healthier. Sounds so caring and human, right? But people on the mainland exploded with anger. On Weibo, WeChat forums, everyone was yelling. It went viral fast. Some people hit the nail on the head. Lose your job at 35, then go back to work at 60. Others laughed bitterly. They don't want 40-year-olds anymore, but now they want 60-year-olds to work. This world is so messed up and split. Some got really mad. Does Shanghai really have such a big shortage of workers? Fix middle-aged people's jobs first. The main complaint boiled down to one thing. Young people can't even keep their jobs. But now they're pushing old people to keep working. If you don't want to pay pensions, just say it straight. Now shift the camera to the finance system. Bloomberg's recent exclusive report shows state-owned finance companies in China are doing a massive pay reform. The hardest hit are middle managers, people who aren't top bosses and aren't low-level workers. They're the first ones getting their costs cut. The numbers are shocking. In two big state banks, department heads saw their 2025 bonuses cut by 30% to 50%. In medium-sized banks, department supervisors lost about 40% of their variable pay. Bonuses make up 40% to 70% of their total income. Insurance company middle managers lost at least 30% of bonuses too. Why hit middle managers so hard? Because bonuses are a huge part of their pay. Cutting them almost halves their real income. Bloomberg quoted insiders saying this is to fix upside-down pay. The gap between top bosses and bottom workers was too big, so now they're squeezing the middle to control total costs. This isn't just one company. It's the whole government finance system seeing its pay structure fall apart. Bloomberg said clearly, middle managers are the biggest victims in this reform. These are the people around 35 and up who used to earn $1 million a year. Overnight, bonuses vanish, life pressure explodes. Their worry, confusion, and helplessness show exactly how coldly the system is calculating costs and people. The pay crash for finance middle managers is just the tip of the iceberg. On March 16th, the National Bureau of Statistics released February numbers. The national urban surveyed unemployment rate is 5.3%, up only 0.1% from last month. But look closer and deeper. Youth unemployment, 16-24, is still 16.1%. Flexible workers, gig people, now top 2.4 billion, almost one-third of the real workforce. Delivery riders, food couriers, rideshare drivers, streamers, temp workers. They work day by day. No steady social security, no regular payments, no future feeling, no safety net. Their income is unsure, so their lives are unsure. Even worse, outsiders say this 5.3% number is way too low. College grads, those studying more, taking government tests, or just giving up, are mostly left out of the count. Nearly 300 million migrant workers. If they go back to villages, they vanish from stats. Those 2.4 billion flexible workers, even if they work just 1 hour, they count as employed. In other words, these groups are being ignored or hidden on purpose. Their stress, disappointment, and money worries get wrapped up in a nice, calm-looking number. The heaviest blow. At the end of 2025, official population data shows China's structure is collapsing at a speed that takes your breath away. Total population is 1.4 billion, down 3.39 million from last year. Negative growth for years in a row. People 60 and older hit 320 million, 23% of the total. 65 and older reach 223 million, 15.9%. Working age people, 1659, are only 850 million, down to 60.6%. Every number here screams China's young strength is disappearing fast, and aging is happening way quicker than most people imagined. Looking back, China only barely became an aging society in 2000, 60 plus at 7%. By 2021, it hit moderate aging, 14%. In just 21 years, it did what developed countries took 40 to 126 years to do. This speed up isn't random. The one-child policy acted like a super accelerator, forcing the population to age early. The government itself admits the 2026-2030 15th five-year plan period will see the fastest aging ever. Around 2030, China enters super aging, 65 plus over 20%. By 2035, 65 plus will top 320 million, up nearly 90 million from 2025. Fewer workers, but pension burden grows like a snowball. This getting old before getting rich isn't a prediction anymore. It's real, right in front of us. When we stitch all these numbers, news, policies, and real life together, they aren't separate. They're cold puzzle pieces slowly forming one suffocating truth. High youth unemployment, middle-age pay cuts, aging avalanche speeding up, older people forced to retire but not rest. All these pressures flood to one spot, the pension system. This used to be society's last big safety wall. Now it's shaking, about to fall. Collapse is already unavoidable. Now zoom to the most core, most cruel part, how pensions are slowly being drained. This isn't a sudden crash. It's a slow, merciless squeeze from many sides, turning the system, population, money, and personal lives into a deadly loop. On the paying in side, it's collapsing fast. Unemployment wave plus gig jobs shrink the main payers. 2.4 billion gig workers mostly join the urban-rural resident pension. Average monthly benefit only a couple hundred yuan, not even enough for a decent meal, let alone supporting the future pension pool. Youth unemployment at 16.1% means tens of millions of future payers might stop paying soon. Who will hold up future pensions? Who will guard this leaky wall? On the taking out side, it's spreading like fire, burning hot, impossible to stop. Over 320 million people now get pensions. Urban-rural resident basic pension averages only 287 yuan a month. The lowest standard rises to just 163 yuan in 2026, like a tiny symbolic increase. Urban worker pensions average over 3,000 yuan a month, but gaps between city, rural, and classes are 15 to 30 times. Only less than 10% of people have real spending power in old age. Most elders can barely live basically, let alone drive a silver economy. They're like shadows wandering in an empty building, there, but too weak to hold up the whole thing. The government started delaying retirement, men from 60 to 63, women from 50-55 to 55-58, minimum payment years from 15 to 20. But the real goal is they can't raise pension levels much. Local governments struggle just to pay out, so they make healthy, younger old people keep working, keep paying in, and delay getting money. In other words, they're quietly throwing the pension responsibility back to people. You take care of yourselves. This isn't the end. The cruel chain reaction speeds up. The one-child generation is crushed at the bottom. They face the classic 4-to-1 upside-down pyramid. 4 grandparents, 2 parents, 1 kid holding the whole family chain. With tiny pensions and unstable jobs, this only child has to support themselves, pay mortgages, raise kids, and care for 6 elders at once. Money-wise, they're squeezed dry. Emotionally, they're close to breaking. This isn't rare. It's a whole generation's shared nightmare. Some sigh helplessly. This generation isn't just doing pensions. They're trading life for life, using blood and sweat to hold up the whole system. Even crueler, the pension money people worked hard for their whole lives is being quietly taken and stolen. The 2025 audit report shows 13 provinces took 40.6 billion yuan from urban-rural resident pension funds, not for pensions, but to fill holes in basic living, wages, and government running costs, the so-called 3 guarantees. That means people's hard-earned pension payments became an emergency cash box for local governments to plug their money holes. Even more shocking, in 25 provinces, auditors found 28,300 people faked medical records or changed files to retire early and illegally get 519 million yuan in pension benefits. These numbers hide ordinary families' pension safety being hollowed out bit by bit. Imagine working decades to pay in, but the money disappears through power and greed. The holes get bigger and bigger. And the system gaps make people lose hope. Government and public institution retirees get 6,000, 8,000 yuan a month, sometimes over 10,000. Company workers get just over 4,000. Rural elders get 287 yuan, lowest 163 yuan. Government is 2 to 3 times company, 20, 50 times rural. Government pensions are almost fully covered by taxes, with replacement rates over 80%, sometimes even higher than working pay, creating weird situations where retirees make more than workers. So you think pension is your lifetime hard work savings for safety? No. In reality, it turned into feeding officials. Every yuan ordinary people pay in, meant for their own future cushion, becomes high welfare for insiders, emergency cash for local governments, or black holes swallowed by corruption. This quiet stealing hurts even more than losing jobs or pay cuts. It makes people furious and hopeless. Viewers, this isn't just a simple, is there enough money to pay question. This is a full system collapse from structural flaws, holes in the rules, and long-term bad effects of population policies stacked together. The paying in pipe is blocked, flow getting thinner. The taking out gate is bursting like a flood, opening bigger and wilder every day. The whole pension system, this last defense line for Chinese society, is like a river slowly drained dry. On top, a thin layer of water still shines. Underneath, it's already cracked, dry, and ugly to see. If pensions really can't pay out or get cut big time, the hit won't just land on old people. Young and middle-aged will fall into despair. Family spending will die like a fire without oxygen. The economy will crash hard. Society will tumble like dominoes. One falls, all go down. This isn't scaremongering or far-off what if. It's spreading across society at a speed you can see with your own eyes. If today's content touched you, please like, comment, share your real feelings. Your thoughts keep us going. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Next time, we'll keep going together.